purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. All those that are invisible are filled with Brahman. All those that are visible are also fully permeated by Brahman. The entire universe has come out of the whole Brahman. Brahman is still full, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we are on the Śvetāśvatara Upanishad, and we have read the last verse where a beautiful analogy was given of the two birds, the jiva, the individual soul, and the supreme soul, paramatma. And this lower bird is tasting the different types of food, sweet and sour. And when it is sweet, it is happy. And when it is sour, then it is unhappy. So this is the way the jiva, as the individual soul, we are going through this turmoil. But sometimes we look after getting shocks and blows and knocks and blows of this world. We look up, what is this? And we find another bird is there, our own self. This is a reflection of that self. And that is there, calm, serene, peaceful, joyful. So that is the state. Two birds giving the example and inspiring us that we can lift our awareness, looking at the world, experiencing the world, its sorrows, its sufferings, its joys, its pleasures, its pain. And it does not give peace. The restless feeling, when it comes deeply, then we look up. Oh my God, why, what? And then we look up and go close to. That looking itself is going close. Whole day forgetting that. And when we look up, that means we are approaching that reality. So that is a spiritual journey. That's why these two verses, 6 and 7 we read. They dua suparna, the two birds of Sajuja, beautiful plumage, Sakhaya, inseparable, their friends, samāne vṛkṣam, in the same vṛkṣe, in the same tree, this body tree. In body tree, this physical body is there. This is the jiva, as I am talking, eating, sleeping. And this jiva is eating ice cream, eating bitter, sometimes ice cream, sometimes, or whatever all the five the senses we are experiencing. And when sweet and bitter experiences does not give us peace, then you look, why, what? That means as soon as you look inside, the same vṛkṣa, this body is the tree. Here yogis say, here is the sahasrara. So look at that. No? So as soon as you look at that, that means you focusing on God. And this is nothing. This relative existence is only a reflection of that. So when we see that, then our journey ends. That's why one eats the fruits of the tree with relish, while the other looks on without any eating anything but calm and serene. Anasnan abhichakasiti. No, not eating, but it experiences. Samāne vṛkṣe puruṣo nimagno. Anīśayā śocati muhyamānaḥ. In the same tree, this puruṣa, the individual soul, is entangled. And how is it gets entangled? Anīśayā śocati muhyamānaḥ. Forgetting that. We have forgotten our divine entity. That's why you are so miserable. Who makes us miserable? Our forgetfulness makes us miserable. If we remember that I am that, and if that dignity comes in the mind, then what can make us suffer? What can give us any pain? because we are forgetting all the time who we are. We are looking at this petty body and mind and its functions through the senses. The reflection, we are so concerned about, as Swami Premishananda Maharaj used to say, that somebody praised Premishananda Swami and said that, oh, you are such a person of renunciation. And he used to jokingly say, what renunciation I have? I have given up everything for eternal truth, eternal joy. And you have given up the eternal joy. For what? But something else. That means you forgot God and you are happy with it, trying to find joy in the world. Your renunciation, you give $1 billion offer, give up. Are you not a big renouncer? And if I give $10,000, then renounce. Who is a bigger donor? Who is a renunciate person who can give up $1 billion? So we all are $1 billion giving up and living in the petty $10, $20, $30 business and trying to find eternal joy and peace. So this is the example given, that entangled, how we get entangled? No one can entangle us. It's my forgetfulness is making me. If I remember now, you see, immediately you feel your own dignity. Immediately you feel your freedom, your joy, or you are at least the grandeur of your own personality. This personality is false personality. It is a reflected personality. And we are hanging on to this reflected personality and trying to find joy, peace here. Get out of this, forget this, and get into their real identity. What Swami Vivekananda preached in every lecture, the theme is this. Connect yourself, forget your false identity. Go to there, you people are all very proud of your individuality. Swamiji said, individuality. I am, I like, I dislike, I this, I. It's false identity. You have not understood what is your identity. What is your individuality? You are divine, you are pure, you are stainless. That's your identity. Hang on to that. Don't forget that. That's why the Upanishad is very direct here, that in the same tree, the individual soul is nimagno, totally plunged into it, in the world and worldliness. View is only narrow view. What is happening? And as a result, nimagno, anīśayā, forgetting his own divinity, he is muhyamānaḥ. He is depressed, deluded. Muhyamānaḥ, being deluded, depressed, śocati, and miserable. Look at our condition. Every day, this how Upanishad have watched the condition of we the ignorant people, and they're calling us to get up, awake, awake, awake. Awake in your divinity, awake in your consciousness. You are not to lament on anything. So don't pay attention to that. Don't forget what you are. So this is a real call, to get that call and to look at that. Look at that more. How many hours we spend in very petty things. How many hours we pay attention to our divine entity. So this is the call. So muhyamānaḥ, very, very beautiful. Being deluded here again, but muhyamānaḥ means who is get depressed. Muhyam. And śocati means he is lamenting. Why this, why that, I lost this, I gained this, I was not this. So he is all the time lamenting on the things of the material world, which are all passing phase yesterday. And but yadā juṣṭaṃ paśyatim īśaṃ asya. Yadā paśyaty, yadā juṣṭaṃ. But when one starts worshipping the divine within, by all, anyam, the other, īśaṃ, the Lord, paśyaty. When he sees the other, the Lord of all, when he sees the other, this is the visual image in which we are living. But when you look into that which is the Lord of the all, whom all devotees worship, and realizes that all greatness is his, then he is relieved from the misery. So relief from the misery or entangled in the misery depends on our own choice. And this is a beautiful image given. You need not have to seek God anywhere. This is the tree, same tree, and body is the tree. In this body, this is the jiva, in which level chakra we are living, in which we are our visual image, everything perceptual universe is this one. And we are entangled into this, we are depressed with it, with sometimes smiling like a madcap. And then we are every moment tossed to and fro like that. But there is something within us to turn our attention. So this is very a call for us. That is a note, we have read that yesterday in the first half of the mantra, that points out that the forgetfulness of man's divine affinity, whether one take that affinity to mean one of the identity with the Supreme, or one of inseparable loving relationship with Him, is the root of all our miseries. Identity, one is, I have forgotten my identity, total identity. If you cannot do that total identity, the higher state, but you can see He is my friend. Let me make friendship with my divine entity. I am making friendship with this world, and this treacherous world. You can't find any friendship. Good, the world is created like that. Otherwise you would never have gone to the higher entity of our life. So here is a big indication that what it says in the note, whether we take that affinity, meaning, what is that affinity? Meaning the identity with the Supreme, or a relationship with the Supreme as my friend. He is my eternal friend and I am forgetting that. So how I can identify there and connect with that? You can mean both ways. Either you think that he is my puruṣo, he is my eternal friend. So how can I forget him? Is it dualistic language? Or in absolute identity, I am that. Take whatever way you like. And that is because of this forgetfulness of this relationship of total identity is the root that we are all miserable. How the human life has been analyzed and perfectly actually given a direction, our cause of misery is where? Find the root. You know, homeopathy, allopathy. Allopathy is the Western way of thinking is just do allopathy. Allopathy is what? Just symptom and just pound something on it. Headache, give some Tylenol. They say, okay, give some antibiotic. And then the germ remains there. An allopathic and homeopathic way, don't bother about the symptoms. What you are suffering, headache, it is not. Where is the root? They go to the root, find the root. This is the point. Where is the root cause of our suffering? Superficial, you sing, you dance, you are morose, go, drink, have some drug. This is the superficial arrangement. But no, real arrangement is that you are forgetting your divine nature. Why not connect there? The superficial way of solving the problem is very momentary. It repeats again and again. But this internal journey, that is connection as a friend or my I am that, Shivoham, that idea. Or you can say, oh Lord, I am your servant. As Hanumanji said, Deho buddhya tu dasosmi. I am your das, I am your servant. Atma buddhya tamevaham. I am that when I think I am Atman. So these live in the silence of the relationship. And that is the cause that will release us from the bondage of misery and suffering. What beautiful. You can contemplate on that thought. Every day, if we take, that's why these Upanishadic mantras are very powerful. We read superficially, we go through the overall meaning. It does not. If you delve deep into it, that's a profound source of all wisdom and knowledge and peace. That is the source of peace. Don't spend your time, waste your time in wrong things. You can do that. It is a wastage. But you will have to come back to this consciousness. And the rishis are helpful, are guiding us. Now, we read this verse. So I would suggest that please can remember these two verses, 6 and 7, very poetic and way of meditation. Every day you can meditate. This is the tree of life, and this is the body is the tree. In the same body, we live in lower consciousness, we live in higher consciousness. When we live in lower consciousness, we are subject to misery, pain and suffering and everything. No one can stop it. When we connect with the higher identity of my reality, then you are free. That is the way of freedom. That is the way to reach the ultimate. And that practice to connect. I have read it, but it is very interesting to read again. It says the two birds referred to it in this highly poetic passage are the individual soul jiva and the supreme soul paramatman. They are said to be inseparable friends in the Upanishad because, as the Advaitins would interpret the passage, the jiva is only one image of the paramatman thrown upon the mind, and hence both these are inseparable, as the sun's image is from the sun. Or if we take it in the dualistic case, because of relationship of love existing between God and the soul, and the dependence of the soul on God are eternal. So the tree is the body. The point of resemblance between these two beings is their perishable nature. The soul and God are both said to reside in the same body because in respect of the soul, the body has to be conceived as its locus. And in his respect of God, even though he is transcendent, he being also immanent in all being, he is realized by an embodied being through the means of the body. So body is important because through the body we realize the divine, and body is an important factor there, and thinking of the body we can think of this. The fruits of the tree, what we are enjoying through this body, we all enjoy happiness, misery. These are the two things, either this or either that, either this or that. So the fruits of this tree are the results of one's karma. It is not done by anyone, but my karma brings my happiness, my karma brings my misery. But past actions, that's also a Vedantic way to take the responsibility, not to put on someone else. We always do that. Anything happens, its fault is the other. So, which are performed with the help of the body. So, this body, why is this so important? Because through the body we do good karma, with body we do the bad karma. And through the mind we do the bad thought, through the mind we divine thought. So out of the attachment, the individual self clings to these fruits or actions and suffers the consequences. It is maybe good as well as bad in successive embodiments. But who is called the Lord is its companion bird on the tree of this body, remains non-attached to actions and their fruits, being the mere witness of all the cosmic play. That's the freedom. When you see the cosmic play, observer, you observe and see the dance of the Lord dancing everywhere. This Lord's play. Now, today we can read the verse. It is called the 8th verse. Richo akṣare, richo akṣare, parame vyoman, yasmin devā, adhi viśve nisheduhu, juṣṭaṃ na veda, kim richa karishyati, ja ittad viduhu, ja ittad viduhu tat me samāsaye richo akṣare parame vyoman yasmin devā adhi viśve niṣeduhu juṣṭaṃ na veda kim richa karishyati ja ittad viduhu tad ime samasate ta ime samasate. This is sometimes Vedic language, it's a little old Sanskrit. So so richo akṣare. Akṣare means indestructible. Akṣar means which is not destructible. Yasmin means in which this akṣare, indestructible, parame, vyoman, in the highest plane of existence. Richo akṣare parame vyoman yasmin devā adhi viśve niṣedu. Of what avail are the Vedas to him who does not know the indestructible, highest ethereal being, in whom the gods and the Vedas reside, no? So richo akṣare, in the richo means here Vedas. Akṣare, parame vyoman, akṣar, parama vyoman. Akṣar means the which is imperishable. Parama vyoman means supreme reality or supreme space in the infinite space. That which resides is which has been mentioned in the Richa, Rig Veda or Vedas, adhi viśve niṣedu, that whatever in the are there, of what avail, juṣṭaṃ na veda. If one does not know that in that parama vyoman the whole universe stays, and the parama vast consciousness, that imperishable, infinite, immortal self, everything exists. If he does not know, what the Vedas will do for you? Vedas and Jagna scriptures you read, what Vedas will do for you, what Jagna will do for you. So, of what avail are the Vedas to him who does not know that indestructible, highest ethereal being, in whom the gods and the Vedas reside? That means you have to know. You have to know that in that cosmic consciousness the entire universe exists. No? If you do not know what the Vedas can do, you read the Vedas, that means you read Vedas, Vedas are wisdom, it should give us wisdom. But what Vedas will do, it will not give us wisdom until we know that. So now emphasis is coming not to have theoretical knowledge, but to get it practical experience. The Vedas, only those who know that are satisfied, are those who do not know, they will be always remaining dissatisfied. So this verse says that what avail are the Vedas to a person who does not know that indestructible, highest ethereal being, in whom the gods and the Vedas reside, in which all the divine entities, everything is embedded into that. If you do not know, Upanishad like that, simpler versions are there. It says that if you know that God, then your life is satisfied. If you do not know, oh, mahati vinasti, what a great loss in this life. So here he says, this our Gambhīrananda Maharaj's translation says, Shankara's, on the basis of Shankara's commentary, the Vedas are established on the imperishable supreme space where all the gods dwell. In the Vedas, they are established on the imperishable. Vedas means the wisdom. Veda means knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge of the eternal truth. Knowledge of the eternal truth is called Veda. Veda, not the book, but the wisdom. So he says the Vedas all the Vedas, Rik, Sama, Joju, Atharva, they are established on what? On the principle of the imperishable supreme space, means all-covering space. Vyoman, Vyoman means akṣare, in the space. That's why they are translated space. Where all the gods dwell. Yasmin, devā, adhi, viśve. Yasmin, in which devā, all the gods, viśve, in this created universe, nishedu, they are established there. juṣṭaṃ Veda, what will one achieve through the Vedas who does not know it? This is more word, more close to the translation word for word. So, first point, the Vedas are established in that mahākāsa, not mahākāsa, in that space. They didn't say mahākāsa. Mahākāsa, chittākāsa, chidākāsa, nirakāsa, whatever, in the space. And in that space is all the gods and goddesses are dwelling there. And Vedas are the expression of that. So if we do not know that in that supreme consciousness, in the supreme infinite space, all the gods and goddesses and all the wisdom of knowledge, it exists there. If you do not know, that means you do not know the Brahman. Then what is the use of your studying the Vedas and what Vedas can do? So he says, the Shankara's translation, it is more of, what is called the...
My understanding is that the Vedas are supposed to point the way for you to attain that knowledge, and they're just saying, this is sounding like they're saying they're useless.
Useless.
Apparently.
No, on the sense, I have to understand why they are saying useless. That's why next line he says, if it does not help you to know that. If you only read the Vedas, Vedas are only talking about that, and you be a big Pandit, but nothing Thakur said. No. In the almanac, there is a vivid description that there will be heavy rain and torrential rain. But you squeeze the almanac, not a drop will come. So person like that, talking about Brahman, Atman, infinite space, but not realizing that, that is futile, that in that sense. Otherwise it has its value. Suppose we are studying that. Why we are studying that? There is the purpose. But still we are studying, we don't absorb it. That's why our knowledge is incomplete. Whatever we read, it seems good sometimes, but the net result was experienced. If it does not bring experience, then what is the use? So that is the indication. That means pay attention to the practice and the meditation more. Not meditation, nididhyasana. Deeper concentration on these ideas. The Vedas are established on the imperishable supreme space where all gods dwell. What will one achieve through the Vedas? Language you see. What one will achieve through the Vedas who does not know it. At least first you know intellectually, then you get convinced on it, work on that more and more and more, then these Vedas are meaningful. Otherwise, that's why traditional way you go to India and those who are traditional Rig Veda, Samaveda people, they don't know meaning, no meaning. They only memorize the entire Vedas in their mind. In the whole Vedas, this Pandit in a Malibu temple, there is one old priest, he is no more here. I asked him, he started talking with me in Sanskrit. I cannot speak in Sanskrit, but anyhow, he afterwards, he said, he is a Rigvedi. Rigveda, say, he has memorized. And you have memorized the Rigveda? Yes, from childhood, from the very early days, we have memorized it, and I can chant the entire Rigveda. Entire Rigveda he can chant with the Sanskrit, old Sanskrit. Then I said, do you know, have you understood the meaning of it? Well, no, this is only chanting. So chanting is that you can make a tape recorder the tape recorder will get liberation. The brain is a physical thing. Brain has memorized that thing, but it is not put into action. First, then to understand the meaning. And then understanding meaning, feel affinity for our real nature. And then that journey, that means then it is fruitful in that sense. But it is a stages are there. First stage, second stage. If I don't ever memorize something, or so I am walking alone and I am thinking idiotic thoughts. And if I keep 1-2 verse in my mind, you can go on walking and your brain is working on that thought. Actually, you are absorbing Gita, you are absorbing Upanishad. So that is the point, usefulness of memory, memorization. To Gita, why do we chant Gita? Why do we chant Upanishad? Because of this. Then you can actually, independent of anything, no book, nothing. You are just walking, you are just sitting, but you can keep your mind in a very high tune to the consciousness.
But you know what, you have to have some creative thought also. Most people, they cannot see the verses and all this in the creative way to interpret in their own way that why this particular word is used, why not other way it is said like that. It's very
Yeah.
so it is not
That is also stages. As you say, correct. We first want to understand what vṛkṣe means, Veda. First know the meaning. Then you can create some idea more over it. But if you have a fundamental meaning, I don't understand what the Sanskrit I am reading, how can I be imaginative? Therefore, translations are very important. Translation may be a totally confused translation. So we have to know, whenever reading any scripture, you have to read exactly what the original verse says. Then you can have your own imagination added and explore, deeper meaning will come, deeper idea will come. But the stages are there. So it says, those who know it thus, juṣṭaṃ na vedo kim richa karishyati. If he does not know, that person, what the Veda or Veda or Samaveda or Atharvaveda or the Upanishads, what they will do? That means it will not reveal the truth in their heart until ya etad vidu. I am reading the other way. It is ya etad vidu. Those who know it, ta ime samāsate. Ta ime samāsate. Ja etad vidu. That person who knows this, they who are such remain self-fulfilled. As you know, who know it does. What is that? That this imperishable supreme space, all the gods and goddesses, all the realities that is dwelling in that cosmic. That means in Brahman everything is there. What he is saying, in that cosmic Brahman, everything is there. Who understands this, and then that will remain self-satisfied. Where is satisfaction will come? Satisfaction will not come in duality. Worshipping different gods and goddesses, people are sometimes day and night thinking, oh, I chant this mantra to please this god. I chant this mantra to please that god. Okay, these are watering little bit here, little bit there, that will have its benefit. But pour water in the root of the tree, then you see total, all the trees and branches will be getting the benefit. So here the richer the Vedas are established in akṣare, in the imperishable, parame, supreme vyoman, in vomni, also another alternative, space, comparable to space. Space here, they are saying capital S and comparable to small space. We understand this space. But it is not that small space. So though it says parame vyoman Sanskrit will be vomni. It is Sanskrit word will mean space. But space we have ordinary concept of the great space in which sun, moon, stars, galaxies are rotating. Not this space. It is much different. That is capital space, means it is Brahman. Which is known from 3 Vedas. How do you know it? You know from the Vedas, reading of the Vedas, as you said. Without reading that, how do you know? And the gurus also teach us. Where they know? They from the Vedas. All source is the Vedas, which is known from the 3 Vedas. And yasmin, where viśve, devā, all the gods, adhi dwell, stay, or supported by that. Kim karishyati, what will you one achieve? What will you do? Richa, through the Vedas. Ja, that person who na Veda, does not know this truth. Tam, iti, ye, those who vidu know, that is thus they are who remain in the self-satisfied. To get self-satisfaction is a question of knowing. Here knowing does not mean intellectual knowing. Knowing means experiencing. That one thing that in this, all the, it is talking about people in Vedic time, they used to pay more attention, as I said. The system was that you memorize the Vedas, then you try to contemplate on them under a teacher, and then you go much deeper and deeper, and then all this revelation will come in your life. But in this age, we are fortunate that these Upanishads and others, you are not to go to a forest to find a teacher. The Upanishad, one $3 book can give you the knowledge of the whole world.
$6.95.
How much?
$6.95.
Oh, $6.95. They are asking too much. But anyhow, $7 book can give you this wisdom. Previously, you had to go to find a guru into the deep forest, and then they will be kind to you or not. They will find you a good student, or you are a right student, or reject you or accept you to get the guru's blessings. That means he feels that you are really sincere, and then he will test and give little by their knowledge.
Guru will ask you to take the cows and then...
They will take my cows, 400 cows, make it 1,000 and come back. By that time you will be old. But now we are fortunate in this age, current age, that we have all in the writing, so many things, and all the commentaries, the Shankara's commentary we are getting, because all this wisdom is now available. That's why Kali Yuga, this Iron Age, is bad time, but in another sense it's a good time, because it's a concessional age. And we are weak students, we cannot get past. So they give extra, just to push us to pass. No? So this is the point, but emphasis is there that to understand the cream of this Upanishadic teaching is important, and then contemplating on that person will be released. That means it is emphasizing the earlier verse. Those who know that what is the purport of Vedas, that in Maha space, in the great space, or in that space which is called Brahman, a big space, all the gods and goddesses, all the planes of existence is there. Therefore, you concentrate on that reality, then you get everything. You get the whole package. In that package, there are all types of things available. So where are you going to search one item after another item after another item? You will be exhausted. So come to the whole package of Brahman, that you think of that, concentrate your focus on the real nature of you, that supreme nature, say upper bird. Let me see what the other note. Swami Lokeshwarananda Maharaj said, vṛkṣe akṣare parame vyoman. What we did today. The Vedas are all based on Brahman, which is exactly like space and never changing. The best of all gods, that is the planets, elements, etc. in the universe, rest in this Brahman. If a person knows nothing about Brahman, but only performs Vedic rites and rituals, hey, here Vedas means not only Vedic reading, but Vedic rites and rituals, karma kanda, and then comes jnana kanda. But Vedic first people, when they are ritualistic, like our Malibu temple priests, they know so much wonderful chants, and they can do havanam, and perfect havanam they know. We do not know any. That's called Vedic jagna. Vedic jagna is very different than as we do it. We do a very simplified form of that. But they are expert in that, and they learn how many years. So that by doing rituals and forms, how long it gets, if you find that to the temple, they don't talk about philosophy or anything. They only go and get some havanam and this and that. No, that is the Vedic knowledge through the rituals. So he says, if a person knows nothing about Brahman, but only performs the Vedic rites and rituals, what will he gain? Now it is much clear. No? If he only Vedic wisdom is intellectual, or not even intellectual, now you are putting into practice some rituals. And what rituals will do you? Rituals only clear your mind. Your desire is fulfilled, your mind is again and again with the mantra chanting and fasting and all this part of the ritual, it will make the mind much more purer and purer and purer, and that purer heart your truth will reveal. On the other hand, those who know Brahman as it is, live with the conviction that they are one with Brahman. What says, adhi viśve nishedu. He says nishedu means everything rests on Brahman, including our knowledge. The word richa means the Rig Veda, but here it stands for all the Vedas, all knowledge, in fact secular and spiritual. The word devā here refers luminous objects. I was saying gods, devā, but he is explaining devā means which is duti, which has luminosity. So which is luminous? The planets, the stars and the suns and the entire galaxy, where we find any spark, that is included there. We can only see a part of this universe. There are many things beyond our range of vision, but they are all supported by Brahman. The Upanishad says that if a person does not know the nature of Brahman, what use are the Vedic rites and rituals to him? No? India was doing that so much, no? That's why whole India was flooded with the rituals pre-Buddhistic time. So they paid attention only to the ritual and sacrifice. Ritual, oblation, sacrifice, mantra chanting, this, that. And then Buddha came. He said, Arey, you are only engaged in rituals and only talking about Vedas, what its meaning and not intellectually. Then he involved into the search for within. That is the way. And he protested against the rituals so much. You may remember that Vedic rites are all sakama karma. Vedic rites. So he has come to the that is to say they are performed with a desire to gain something. Every desire, every havanam, there is a purpose, sankalpa. We do resolution. Why are you doing this havanam? There you will observe that when we do the havanam, what we say? That on this auspicious occasion of today, on this tithi, in this month, in this auspicious moment, I am starting this havanam. What for purpose? So Ramakrishna Priti Kamanaya, to get the loving attention or grace of Ramakrishna, and for the welfare of all the devotees, all the spiritual growth and development of all the devotees, and the spirit of renunciation and other things to grow in the heart of all sadhus, sannyasinis, I am performing this. So it is no personal expectation of, I'll gain this I will go to heaven, I will earn this. That by yajna you can resolve. That is the purpose of resolution. Why are you doing this? This is the purpose. That's called niskama. But when you say, I am doing for the welfare of my forefathers, I am doing this for the purpose of my redemption of my sins, or I am doing for this purpose of gaining some power, extraordinary power, you can ask anything, performing the same yajna, you can gain so many other things, whatever you like. It can give you liberation, it can give you the same karma we are doing, no? Same karma this Swami Lokeswarananda did whole life. But his face was always beaming with joy, because he did it with the idea of niskama and or service idea. There is a great joy in doing 24 hours. You can die in working with a smile in face, because you are not working. You are not a what you call a jobber. You are not forced to do work, but it is for the own cleanliness of the mind. So here niskama karma. So the idea of niskama karma and sakama karma, only doing the karma which leads you to the worldliness, that can give you momentary benefit. Yes, it will give it. We are reading today the Hiranyakashipu. He did tremendous austerity. The same tremendous austerity people can do for God realization. Intensity is the same, practice is the same, only purpose is different. You can take a gun and you can learn how to shoot very well, pinpointed, and you can utilize it, the same power again, utilize to save some innocent life and utilize to kill some innocent people. Both. They say, we hear that one boy or a girl entered into the school with a gun in hand and killed at random 13, 14 people and died. No? This gun is not to be blamed. And the concentration, power of concentration to focus and kill, it is the same. But what purpose you are doing? One is leading you to bondage, another leading you to freedom. Our karma leading us to bondage, because it is a burden for me. It is sakama. I don't want it, I want it. It's our own personalities are involved there. But when you do the niskama karma, I don't have any expectation. It's for the God, the Lord I am doing. I don't care who praises, blames. I don't have any intention on that. You become free. And that is the idea here, this Swami. Because he is Ramakrishna Sadhu, so he is giving the slant on that. That's why the Upanishad remaining the same. Your explanation so much changes. Here he is put in sakama karma, that is they are performed with the desire to gain something. You may perform a ritual to have a long life, or to have children, or money, or position in heaven. These are all sakama karma. There are some people, however, who perform niskama karma. That is the point. Few people do that. Many people do sakama karma. The whole world is for sakama karma. Anything we do, before that we calculate how much is my gain. What shall I gain out? What shall what will be my benefit? What is my interest? No? And there are people, they don't think about anything. What can I do for others? What can I do for others? You have no money, he is loaning. I know people. They make loan to give some help to others. And some people, how to squeeze their money and put it in their own pocket. So both types are there. Sakamo, niskamo. And that makes a vast difference in character as also spirituality. So there are some people, however, who perform niskama karma, work done without any desire for gain, without expecting anything in return. For instance, suppose you are meditating on God, you love Him and you think of Him as seated before you, you think of Him as your father or your friend. There is nothing that you want from Him. You are just happy to be in His presence. Your love is totally unselfish. You love Him for the sake of love. It is called niskamo, without any desire, without any expectation. That reminds us the story of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna was fan of Naren. As soon as Naren comes, he is overwhelmed. My Naren has come, you people go. He's so much selfish that he is also attached to Naren. So Naren comes and you all go. And now Naren and me. Right? And everyone felt bad, no? Even jealous also. Our Brahmananda Maharaj used to feel jealous. Yeah, Naren comes and then Naren. That is human. But why? Naren comes, and Naren, this loving Naren, whenever Naren comes, he is asking others to leave, bring sweets and sundaes and feeding him and all this. And then he started training. He said, okay. And Naren came, Ramakrishna didn't look at him. He entered and he is talking to others, facing others, all the time. One day he went in, Naren came, saluted, sat there and went away. Again, Naren entered, ignored. One day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month went on in ignoring like that. Tremendous. Suppose if someone gets such favor and such opposite treatment, what will happen to him? For me, I will die. And what? See, and then ultimately, Ramakrishna said, yes, I was testing. And he said, Naren, you saw that last 1 month, or what is 1 month, I do not know, I am putting my mouth, I do not know how many days. He said, did you not see that I don't look at you? And why do you come here? Then he said, do I come to hear your words? I love you. That's why I come. It matters little whether you look at me or not. I don't care for it. That's called the niskama, very high level. For us to absorb that idea. I love God because of love, not for any other thing. I come to temple because of temple, not for any other thing. I love for the spirituality, that's why I do. I don't care for anything. I do the karma because of God and I don't care for anything. This is called the niskama karma. What a grand philosophy is behind. Only twisting in the attitude. Spirituality and worldliness has nothing, no difference. It is only one mental attitude twisting. And that's why our Sarvadevananda name, the what is his name? Australian Swami. Huh? Huh? No, Australia. Śvetāśvatara. Śvetāśvatara Swami is a very common word he uses all the time. Attitudinal correction. We have to correct our attitude in which we look at the world, in which we behave with the world. Internally, attitude should be changed. And that is spirituality. And without that attitude, it is worldliness. With that attitude, it is all spiritual. So, what a grand transformation may happen with this twisting of our attitude. And whole life it takes to twist our attitude. However, most people perform their actions as sakama karma. And the scriptures say there is nothing wrong with it. It is not saying don't do sakama karma. You will be tired one day and see that sakama karma did not give you what you wanted. You are still dissatisfied. Huh? In fact, the Vedic rites were meant for that. According to Hinduism, you are justified in working for your own advancement as long as you work according to dharma, according to moral principles. So according to Hinduism, you are justified in working for your own advancement. Get material benefit, why not? Get all achievements, what you want. And then understand you got it. Then what? Then what? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? No. Then turn. That this is a stepping stone. Sakama karma is not to be rejected. Those who need, they should have to go through to jump in the higher state of niskama karma. And niskama karma means I do not do anything for anyone's purpose, for my own spiritual growth. And I love God and I cannot stop doing God's work. No? So there are tendencies. If you say that, why do you do this work? Many people say that, in Bengali there is a word, ghorer kheye boner mosh tarano, meaning eating at home and whole day going to the forest to moose means to say buffalo, driving the buffalo from here and there. That means you are using the home amenities and wasting the whole day. But people are there. They will give their everything for the others. And so that is the attitude, niskama karma. But the Upanishad raises a higher issue. This is sakama niskama karma, attitude transfer. But his higher experience, there is a question. They say, yes, through these Vedic rites, you may attain money, you may attain power, children, long life, or heaven, or you may even become a god or goddess for some time. But to what purpose? These things are all transitory. They will not give you self-knowledge. They will not give you liberation. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a dialogue between Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. The Yajnavalkya was going to renounce the world and leave behind all the property. Then Maitreyi asked, is this whole world full of wealth becomes mine? Shall I be immortal through it? Then Yajnavalkya replied, no, your life will be just like that of the people who have plenty of possession, but you will not attain immortality through that path. The Maitreyi said, what shall I do with that which will not make me immortal? Please tell me the way to attain to immortality. That is the question. What it will do, the Vedas? Will it give you immortality? Yeah? It will give you your knowledge of the self. We are all caught in this whirlpool of life and death, birth and rebirth. If you are born, you will die. One follows the other relentlessly, as night follows the day. Somehow or other, we have got to get out of this cycle. This is what is called mukti, and it is regarded by the Hindu sages as the goal of life. Many people say, what is the harm if I am reborn? Hinduism says that if you are reborn out of compassion for others, that is perfectly right. Some saints and sages deliberately seek rebirth in order to serve others. Buddha Bodhisattva. Buddha, after death, again comes back. There is a state where from out of compassion he comes back. That birth is what useful. But if you are born against your will, under the force of desire, then you are not free. We are all seeking imperishable things that will never change, never die. But what is that which will never die? Only Brahman. Brahman is called akṣara, that which never changes. Only by attaining Brahman can we attain the true bliss of immortality and become free. So, the Upanishad says that those who know Brahman in this way, merged into Brahman, samāste, as it were, they become vast and they are blessed. They unite with Brahman, like a river uniting with the ocean. When a river unites with the ocean, it loses its identity. We cannot tell which part of the ocean is the river. Similarly, when we enter into Brahman, we lose our separate identity. We die. Now I have a name, I have a form, and I am attached to both. I am proud of my separate identity. That means I am in a state of bondage. See, I am this. You may be a very grand person, but you are in bondage. When you say, I am Atman, then you are free. Otherwise, when you say, I am anything in the world, that is bondage. Why? Because someday this body will die. It is perishable. Yet my attachment makes me afraid of losing it. But when I merge with Brahman, I become one with Brahman. I lose my separate identity, and I know that I am not the body and not the ego. I know that I am not separate from others also. I have a sense of oneness which embraces the entire universe. I have a sense of oneness which embraces the entire universe. That's all. So, that means reading of the scriptures are not merely reading, but it should bring us this awareness that the whole universe is pervaded in the cosmic consciousness. On the infinite space, the entire universe exists. This book ultimately gives this note that mere scriptural study, which has not fructified into spiritual realization, does not bring peace to the mind and is therefore quite useless. That is the essence of what we read today, today's reading. This is for the scholars to remember. At least scholars are good, at least they read this. We read very rarely. We read now and it will be open next week. But if we can really take one verse and meditate on it, Upanishads are to be meditated upon. That is the major thing, always to think. Upanishad is to be meditated upon. So, sautabbo, mantabbo, niridhyasitabbo. Atma bhavare, Upanishad statement is very important. Atma bhavare, sautabbo, mantabbo, niridhyasitabbo. This is hearing. What we read today, it is a hearing. What Upanishad says, we heard it. It's only one part. Then read again and again, take it in your brain. And then mantabba, do cogitate on the meaning, try to understand in the deeper sense, and then more elaborate explanation will spring from your heart and go dive deep and deep and deep, and then you feel the identity. That is the spiritual growth. So doing that type of spiritual sadhana is indicated here. Today we got that inspiration. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So tomorrow we will have our gospel class at 7:30. And I will be giving the gospel class tomorrow. And so one question has come. I sometimes look back on my action or attitude and can see what I need to change. I can see my motivation was impure, but this does not happen as often as I would like. Is the process of change really so slow? It makes me feel very impatient with my slow progress. What can I do? Bah! This question itself shows that you are progressing fast. Because you are thinking that this change, you know, that is called change. You know you are struggling for that. Only now what to do, nothing to do. Just you think now, yes, I'll have to do it now, think. The two birds are in the same body. Think of now. Think of the poetic idea of that upper bird, our own real nature. And the lower bird is this jiva who is searching for joy and fun in the world and getting every time bitter or sweet fruits. And then we are turning our attention from and feeling experiences of sadness, frustration, or sometimes excitement. But this is not me. So just think now, this moment. Spirituality is very... Vedanta says spirituality is very, very, not a stage of repentance. It is action. I did not meditate whole day. I could not find another 10 seconds you lost by saying that. Or you sometimes glorify. You may elaborate why I cannot do this today. I had this, I went there, I could, this, I. And do that 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 50 seconds. That is your positive. Do it now. You need not have to go to some isolated place to do this practice. This moment you think, they now do. See what happens. Every Vedanta is such powerful. Think for 1 minute you feel the energy of it. All this weakness of the mind, all this stupidity of the mind, you will smile at your own stupidity. What am I doing? Why shall I do? Why did I do that? Why am I not thinking this? Let me think now. Just every moment if we take this strong, Swamiji said, day and night say, shupte, that's a Sankara, no? Who says? Sankara says, shupte, amrite, kalang nait, vedanta chintaya. Vedanta chinta, the thought that you are that pure, you are that thought, chintaya, by that thought, you have to kalang nait, you have to spend your time. It is your duty to spend your time. Kalang nait vedanta chinta. Asupte, whole day, in the middle of your action, why not internally feel, I am pure, I am stainless, I am pure. Do it. Asupte till you go to bed. And amrite, not one day. I did yesterday, but today I missed it. Okay, I did 5 years. I didn't do that. No. You do every day till the body is put into the fire. In the fire, it becomes ashes. Till then do that. Asupte, amrite, kalang night. One should spend his time Vedanta chintaya. The chinta, the thought of Vedanta. This is the Vedanta. That this identity is a reflected identity. It is there, you see. You see, stand before the mirror, you see the reflected image of you. But it is not you. The reflected image will merge into you. And it is that, to come back to yourself. So we all like, do you not like standing before the mirror, how my face is sweet and beautiful? And that's why we want to project ourselves, and this reflected is but this reflection is nothing. Real face is there. And it has not been distorted, nothing, because of the mirror looks distorted. Like that. So Vedanta is good. Whenever we remember, how can I speed up? Speed up now. This moment, think. As soon as it comes in your awareness, okay, I am that, right? Or I am child of God. What is your spiritual attitude? Take that and connect with the divine. Don't connect with the nonsense things of the life. As we do, under the circumstances we do, but we should not glorify that. We should hate that. Another question. Ramakrishna asked to make the mind and lips at one. Monmukh. How should we do that? Should we speak less? Sometimes society wants us to say pleasing things. It is a practicality, it is a question of practicality. You need not have to fake something or to unnecessarily. If it is, there is way of speaking, as we have heard many sadhus teach us, that when you say something, before saying, think, is it necessary? Is it useful? Is it going to benefit anyone? All these questions you put before you say something, then your talk will be little less and you can be more focused on your ideas. But if something goes on wrong, you need not have to openly discuss it and make someone unhappy. You are not lying, but you need not have to say. You need not have to say everything. Because you know something, unless you are called for. So these are practicality, how to handle your, that's a restraint. Spiritual life is restraint. Everything happens, people react immediately. But that reactionlessness is spirituality. How less one can be reactive to the things. So we'll have to learn that by our process. By prayer also to God, oh Lord, guide my mind so that I can take right direction. What to speak, what not to speak, all these things. How to speak. How should we speak? That is, it's a thing. We can use the same word in a sweet manner, in a sour way. You can, a pleasing way, unpleasing way. So how to say things, that is also our normal life's necessity. We should learn that. And we are all enough adult to Use our common sense. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you.